Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. I hope you're well. I wasn't going to do one of these, but a lot of people just kept asking me to do it. So I thought, okay, let me do it. Let's see how things go. Naturally, I am cooking. Hello, I am cooking. So let's see how we do together today, and I will be answering some questions in between. I realize that, honestly, some of these things I have to leave them for the professionals, because every time I'm like, I think I'm supposed to be cooking, and then I forget I talk more than cooking. Well, I guess that's because I'm not a professional. I don't do this for profession. So for me, it's just I get to hang out with you and share a little bit of my time with you. So it's not really about the cooking, but the cooking is just I'm here. So so let's see what we can do today. But today I'm making a roast lamb. I've got a deboned leg of lamb. I'll show you that in a bit. I'm going to make it with a sweet potato bake and some brinjals. I love brinjals, or eggplant, as some people refer to, and some asparagus, which we're going to soak in boiling water to get rid of the sand. And my sweet potatoes, I love sweet potatoes. They're just such a great addition, well, a replacement for real potato. Okay, it's not real potatoes, it's for potatoes. So yeah, that's what I'm making today. And then I'm also going, I love my greens, so we're also making some broccoli. I'm gonna show you this most beautiful deboned leg of lamb. Oh, look at that. It's so beautiful. I love protein. Of course, so anything to do with meat is more than welcome. So I think what we're gonna do today, let me go pick some herbs from the gardens. I need some rosemary, and I'll just pick a few herbs to get us going. Last time I couldn't do that because I just kept yapping and then my battery ran out. So bear with me, walk with me. I'm just gonna pick a few herbs from the garden. Let me see. I'll show you just now in a moment. Okay. See, this is some beautiful rosemary. I like to pick just these nice small ones so that I stuff them in the lamb. So the aim is to stuff the lamb with all this, and this is some time, so I just always pick. I love herbs, so I can never have enough herbs. All right, let's see. Pick a little more there, and let's pick. I mean, this stuff is so expensive in the stores, so I'm just happy I get to grow my own. Okay, let's see what else we're gonna pick. Just never mind the walkway. Right, so let's come and pick some oregano. This is some oregano. So let's just pick a few. I told you guys I don't go easy on the herbs. I just hoy. I just throw them in there. And this is actually another variation of thyme. What did she call it? I forgot. This is the stuff that Joy grew from. Well, she planted it when she was here. I kind of forgot what that was. Then let's pick some good old mint for good measure, because mint and lamb go very well before you serve it. So let's see if I'll even use it, but I have it, so. All right, where are you? I'm here. Okay, great. So I think that's all I'm gonna need from the garden for today. Oh no, I can't do anything without spring onions. I don't know, there's just something about spring onions that just makes me happy. So I'll just pick a little bit of it, just some spring onion. And there's just something very special about spring onion. Don't ask me what it is. I have a feeling even when we were growing up, wasn't it one of those things that chases away evil spirits? You know, like Jay's fluid. All right, let's see. So I've got my herbs ready. I'm just gonna rinse those. Okay. All right, just give me a moment. Just gonna put those in a little bit of water. Sorry, just stuffed my face in your camera view. I told you all I do is just cook. This is not for show, so I let the professionals do it for show. Okay, so my prep work is kind of getting there now. All right, so let's see where we go. And I will be answering your questions, so please feel free to ask me. But what I'm gonna do first is let me get the sweet potato bake ready. What are we making for lunch today? We're making roast leg of lamb. It's deboned. And then we're making some sweet potato bake, some brinjals. You'll see just now. Let me put on my apron. Look how precious this is. I got this from the team, so I'm not cheating on Verve, don't worry. They're cousins. It's the same stable. It's the Moet Hennessy stable, so all is good, all is good. All right, so let's start off with just cutting the onions. So how are you? How are you? Tell me, how are you doing? I'm gonna get my prep going. You tell me how you are though. What's happening in your lives? Are you cooking? Are you back at church? What's happening? I hope some of you are not logging into Instagram while you're in church. People have done stranger things before, so you never know. All right, so let me just get my onions going. So what I do with the onions is I just make them not finely chopped, just loose, yeah, like loose, because I want them to be nice and chunky. So nice and some chunky onions. So from Cape Town, oh UCT, hi, I hope you're studying. I hope how's that going? It's okay, you can come past. How are the studies going? Has that even happened? I mean, I've been seeing protests around fees, but you know, are you studying actually? Oh yeah, with the sweet potatoes, yeah. So I've just chopped my onions just to get those out of the way. So what I do with sweet potatoes, I don't peel off the skin, because all the nutrients sit in the skin, you know. I think professional chefs have got a word for it, but I don't know. I just know that they sit under the skin. It's the best. Even with potatoes, the nutrients, in fact, with any vegetable that's got skin, the nutrients are in the skin. So you don't want to take that. You don't want to take that off. So you just make sure you rinse them properly, so that you know you don't have soil and stuff. So okay, let's see. You're having your first meal of the day. Someone is back from church. What time is it? Oh yeah, I can see how. So I guess you skipped breakfast. You're now at brunch, right? All right. Trying to cook. Amy is trying to cook as early as possible before load shedding. Oh yes, there is that. I never even realize when there's load shedding, because we've got solar powered backup batteries, so we've got backup power. So what I do with these is I just cut up some chunks, I do tend to don't make them too thin, because then, but also not too thick. So you just want like nice slices. And I lay those on I'll show you when I bake them in this. So just lay those nicely so that they get cooked evenly. I'll cut another one. Okay, so somebody has just finished cooking. That's great. You cook early. That's awesome, because then you get the whole day to just rest, right? Are you preparing to do your daughter's hair? It's Afro and requires time. But I also think that's just such a special time with your daughter. You know, get to have conversations you probably don't ordinarily have. Someone's network is misbehaving. Oh dear. Looking forward to how you prepare the eggplant, because it tastes so bland when I prepare them. You'll be surprised how simple I make it, and it just tastes delicious. I'll show you. And what's also nice with it is that you can, you grill it, you can do whatever you want with it. I prefer grilling it and get it that nice little crisp, and then it kills the eggplantiness. All right, so I'm gonna pile on some more potatoes, sweet potatoes here. But what I then want to do is throw in some of the onions. So my nice chunky onions, I throw them in there. Okay. I'll show you now what I do. So, okay, let me see. What was I doing at the Grand Prix? Sorry, what was the question? Let me just see that. From Namibia, hello. What were you doing at the Grand Prix the other day? Oh, I was invited by Bentley to go race around the track. Hi guys, I won't lie, I felt like I've arrived. It was lovely, yeah. It was really nice. I enjoyed it. It was something different, out of the ordinary. So just so you see, I've now laid my sweet potatoes and some chunky onions. So now what I'm going to do is throw in a bit of olive oil. And listen, olive oil is healthy, so you can throw in as much as you want. Just don't go overboard. Yeah. And then what I do is I'm going to put some salt and pepper now before I put it in the oven. And then we'll talk a bit more. So the question is, what do you remember doing when you were 23? I remember 23 was actually a very defining year for me. It was the year that I finally agreed to sit down with my mother and my sister and talk about, the elements of our childhood that were devastating. And at 23, during that sit down, which was very difficult. You may ask, why didn't I sit down before? It's because I just felt like there wasn't any truth being told to me, so I didn't want to waste my time. But yeah, when I finally sat down, that's when I discovered that my sister also used to get sexually abused by the same uncle, and she's my big sis, and it was devastating to hear that. And what it taught me is that, as siblings, we need to talk more. When we were growing up, we were both going through the same hardship, but none of us knew. We didn't tell each other. We didn't confide in each other. So 23 was a very defining year for me. But I also realized in that conversation that, all these answers that I had been seeking, all these all this guilt that I had been carrying, all this shame that I had been carrying it was all pointless, honestly. There were no answers. In fact, I reached a point around that time, I realized that, you know what, I'm actually not the shame, I'm not the pain, I'm not my mother's mistakes, I am not the pain, I'm not the horrible things that happened to me. I needed to redefine who I was. So that's exactly what I was doing when I was 23 years old, whilst building my career. I graduated when I was 21, so you know, it was busy times for me. All right, so Nolu says, trusting God for beautiful home with a big garden so that I can start growing my veggies and herbs and etc. Inspired by you, not only wishing for this, but working hard to create this life. Well done. It's gonna come without a shadow of doubt, and I think you have the right attitude and the right ingredients. I just think if you're willing to dream and not just dream but work towards those dreams, then you know it's achievable. You know, we all didn't start here. So anyway, my oven has been I've heated it up. So I'm just gonna, what I do, I'll cover this with foil, and before I serve it, maybe like 30 minutes before I serve it, I just open it up and leave it in the oven and let it crisp a bit. I do love covering things with foil because the nutrients don't escape, or the taste doesn't escape. So, but also it makes it so nice and soft, and I love sweet potato. So what I'll do is just cover this with some foil. And then I actually usually just put this in the oven for a good hour and a bit, a good 2 hours. Sometimes I forget about it. And oh, with sweet potato, you never have to put anything more. Okay. Thank you very much, guys, for your wonderful comments. Let's see a question. How did you come to the decision to leave corporate? Okay, so let me first put this in the oven. I always have to remember to use oven gloves. I'm one of those people, I have oven marks everywhere. Everywhere. And it's not because I don't have gloves, I just forget to use them. I'm so rural. All right, so let me just put this. All right, so that's in the oven. So I made the decision to leave corporate because I just wasn't, I felt like it was no longer the most effective use of my time. And I was not present in my life because all I did was work. So I just felt that it was time to change that. I mean, I write about it in my book, Baked in Pain, quite extensively. But it was really just, it was no longer for me. And I was burning out. My health was taking a knock. I was just unhappy. And it didn't feel like the most effective use of my time. So I decided to leave. And I decided August 2013, I registered my company, Uyandiswa, my project management business. And I said I was going to leave the very next year. I left in May 2014 to run my business full time, and I haven't looked back since. And I am blessed to be living out my purpose. I'm so blessed to have made the right decisions that have yielded the right outcomes. But remember, I didn't just start business then. I've always had businesses since I was 23 years old, in fact. I've always had side hustles. Okay, so Clara says, my husband and I were blessed enough to buy our dream home, which set us back a bit. However, once we've recovered financially, your home decor is an inspiration. Thank you so much. And listen, that's one thing about a home. It chomps up every single bit of money you have. But I can't think of a better investment. In fact, I can't think of a better investment. I'd say home, vacations, and kids' school fees. In that order. I I value education very much, but I also wish we could just take this money and travel the world with them and have them educated in multiple different languages, multiple different countries, you know, because I just believe that there's more education out there than in a classroom, you know, and I take nothing away from the career itself, from the profession itself. I'm just saying, for me, that's one of the things that, you know, honestly, I often say that to my husband. I'm like, you know, the amount of money we pay for school fees, we could be doubling up the education by traveling the world and go to a Spanish-speaking country and have them learn Spanish, go to a Portuguese country, have them learn Portuguese, French, you name it. But, you know, I mean, we also have to deal with the realities of our own ecosystem, our own working rhythm as well. So, but they enjoy school, they love school, it's a great investment, there's no better for them, you know. Yeah. Somebody asked me, will I be writing another book? Yeah, I'm busy with my third book. I'm almost there. So I've even named it. That's a good thing, you know. Let me see, and do pop your questions into the question box as well, and I can check that. Okay, so Kajo says your order and mine, same WhatsApp group. Vacations are underrated. Oh, I must tell you, if there's one thing I will just do with my life, is just travel. And actually, I'll tie this to another question. Somebody asked me, what did I study at university? I studied social sciences. I majored in sociology and social anthropology, but I also had a minor in psychology. And you know, I always pictured myself as Margaret Mead. Anyone who studied social anthropology will know of her work. You know, she would go around rural worlds and stay in this remote and rural places. Like, she studied the Aborigines of Australia. She just went. So I always pictured myself as Margaret Mead. And I can tell you, the amount of traveling I've done is so I haven't strayed from that wish or dream. In fact, I've been doing it. And the beauty of it is I get to do it now with my children, with my family, which is just fantastic. Because traveling with children, you know, I get to relive my childhood through my children. You know, they see the world and their eyes just open up, and it's such a gift. It's such a gift. All right, so what was your first project for Uyandiswa? Did you get that project while still at corporate or after you left corporate? If you got it after leaving corporate, how long did it take you to get a project? So I left corporate without a single client. In fact, I left corporate and while I had decided to take 2014 off. So that's how exhausted I was. I needed a proper sabbatical. So I stayed without any work. I really wasn't doing anything. But people kept knocking on my door. So July 2014, I kind of like started to drag myself out of bed. Oh guys, I used to eat, drink and sleep. I got so nicely chubby. It was good. I didn't exercise, I didn't do anything. I woke up, take the kids to school, and then come back and sleep and wake up because I'm hungry, and then drink some champagne and sleep again, and oh, it was fantastic. I needed it, my soul needed it. And then, you know, I then started getting active around July, and I got, my first client was ABSA, in fact, something completely unexpected because, you know, I had come from ABSA, but my first client wasn't from the technology division. It was actually from corporate and investment banking, which was such a great accolade for me because, you know, if people you don't even know want to do business with you because of what they've been told about you, then that for me was incredible. So yeah, but I can't talk about the projects we do for our clients because that's confidential, firstly, but secondly, it's often is competitive information. So, but we've done, we do work with all the banks in South Africa. We do work with insurance companies across industries. We've done work with medical aid companies. Our depth is more financial services, but I mean we do projects right across. Even within financial services, we also do projects within real estate. We run, facilities management type projects. We run building projects for our clients. So yeah. Okay, so hi Lebu from Australia. Hello, hi. Okay, let me see another question. I'll go to the question box, guys. Kathy says, how would you advise a student studying social sciences? I'm not sure what advice you are looking for, Kathy, but I mean, whatever you study, the reason I studied social sciences was very clear. I was interested in society. I wanted to understand how cultures are formed. I wanted to understand, what is society? Who are the players in society? How do things evolve? And is there room to change them? And I mean, largely for me, it was driven by my own questions about my own life. But, I can tell you that people always ask me, you studied social sciences, so how did you get into IT? I got into IT via project management. And this is also something I write about in my book, Baked in Pain, which I really think you should buy and read. I say a lot there, like a lot. All right, I need to remember that I'm still cooking. Okay, so let's see. What is the invaluable lesson you learned at your time in corporate? I really, I had so many lessons. Corporate is an oven, hey? You get baked there proper. And one of the things that I learned is just the ability to make a difference in people's lives. And the fact that, when you're in a position of power, you should never abuse it, because, leaders are there to make a difference in people's lives. And if you're not willing to serve people, if you think being a leader is all about you, then you need to back off and let other people do it. But one of the things that also, I learned is how people can be broken or built up in a corporate environment. And I chose to be a builder rather than someone who tears people down. All right, so I'm going to stuff my lamb now. I bought this deboned. And to all those people who freak out about rinsing meat, it's rinsed. Not just by Woolies, I also rinsed it. Before you go around accusing me of feeding my family nonsense. But I also buy a free range food, by the way. I'm very health conscious, but there are things that don't bother me. If I don't rinse my chicken and I cook it, it's fine. It's cooked. and they're quite sticky about telling you what to rinse. In fact, so I can safely tell you that I've been doing it for many years, and none of them have been sick from my food. Don't know about you, but my family is all right. So what I do, I just literally poke some holes in the lamb. So maybe I'll show you now. So you see, I poke some holes in it so that I stuff the rosemary. But also what I do, I also stuff some garlic in it. So if you just give me a moment, let me go find it. Okay, here I am. So I'll take a little bit of the, and let me try and see if I can drop this way. And I just take just little chunks of garlic, not too much, okay? Remember our conversation about garlic the last time. You're gonna get the gas out of it, but if you're gonna roast it, it turns out perfectly fine. And I actually do want a little bit of that garlicky taste to the lamb. So, and again, guys, I don't follow any rules about cooking. I just cook what I want to cook. I'm an instinctual cook. Instinctive. Yeah, well, whatever the English word is. All right, so I stuff it so that, you know, I get some nice flavor inside the meat. And then what I also do is stuff that rosemary that I picked from the garden. So I've rinsed these nicely. So I just literally stuff it in there. Okay, so let's see. Sandy says, I always look forward to your Sunday lives. I think something like that. Thank you very much. Is it not said that the operative word in the title of leadership is to lead? Yeah, listen, I just think that, you know, firstly, if you haven't been able to lead yourself, so self leadership is the first determinant to me, I believe, of whether you're going to be a great leader or not. You can't lead anyone if you're unable to lead yourself. And, you know, let's say that so-called leaders must invest in themselves, but they're probably the people who invest in themselves the least, because they think they know it all and that they've reached these levels that they're at, so they don't have to do anymore, which is really sad, because I think you have to be continuously improving yourself as a leader. So guys, what I also do, I stuff it with the thyme as well. So I do rosemary, I do thyme, I do a bit of garlic, and I just go for it. There's one thing I'll never have enough of, it's herbs. And I can tell you, herbs go with even some of the things you never thought they'd go with. So try it. I mean, try and grow your own firstly. You don't even need land to grow herbs. You just use pots, you know, just use pots and grow your own herbs. Because herbs are very expensive. And half the time you don't even use all of them. And I know there's a trick that I think it was, I can't remember which chef it was, Mohau or, I mean, the Lazy Makoti or Uzola, where they showed us how to freeze herbs. Or it must have been Siba, I don't know. But I mean, I just pick from the garden, so I don't have to waste any. All right, so I've kind of stuffed it up nicely now. Stuffed it up. I haven't stuffed it up, I've stuffed it. All right, and then what I do is I really love to just add olive oil. I don't have to, but it gives it a nice roast. Oh, a nice coating when you roast it. But just a little bit, and then I add some black pepper. So some black pepper, and I'm also just gonna season it with salt as well. So somebody says, any travel plans after COVID? I was there in Africa, Rwanda. What a treat. Where would you like to travel to? So my twin girls turned 13 last year, and they wanted to travel instead of having a party. And I was like, yes. So my children. So we had a fully booked trip to Greece and Turkey, which didn't happen naturally. So we have until December to take that trip, otherwise we kind of forfeit everything. So I'm not happy that I'm not traveling at all, in fact. In fact, it's the reason why some days I'm just not coping, because I haven't traveled in over a year. And you've already heard what I said about, you know, my outlook on life, why I studied what I studied, what traveling means to me. So I feel like a significant part of my life has halted, came, well, to a grinding halt, I guess, like everyone. But I really like traveling. I love traveling. It's just that fuel for me, you know? It's just seeing people getting lost in a foreign place, listening to people speaking a language I don't understand, trying to figure things out, you know, figuring public transport out. Oh, it's just so exciting. But I also know that's one of the reasons some people don't like to travel, because they don't want to get lost in a foreign place. They don't. I was just like, actually, nothing will happen to you as long as you have money to figure yourself around. You don't have to beg anyone for money. Then you're fine. You can catch a cab and they take you back to your hotel. I promise you, it's that simple. All right. So what I do with my lamb is, you'll see, I'll put it in this clay pot, and the reason I do that is, for me, it's about I can cover the pot and put it in the oven. So it equates to covering it with a foil, but when I just cover it with the lid, and then also I trap the juices in there, because then I use the juices for a sauce. But I'll show you what I do. I'll just lay I lay the lamb on a bed of onions. So literally, I lay it, I'll show you now, because the onions also have great flavor, so you want to just capture that. So just some onions that I laid on, and also I add more garlic, because remember, I didn't really do much flavoring underneath the lamb, so I do that as I turn it over. So with this, I just like rub that lamb, and then also a bit of that pepper, and I do put more pepper before I serve it. So black pepper for me is that staple that I can't do without. Okay, so I turn it over and put it in the pot. Okay, so if you see, there we are. So I'm gonna close it and put it in the oven, and usually I just bake it for about 2 hours. But in that 2 hours, it's 1.5 hours that I usually let it cook, and then I open it and take out the juices and let it roast. So let me just put this in the oven. One moment, I'll come back. Okay. All right, so I'll let that carry on. Let me see questions, please. Okay, it says, this is so funny. Your Live Sundays has become like one of our favorite TV series. Mama Vula Wi-Fi, Amanda uyadlala. Oh, that's so funny. What wine will I have with the meal? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe no wine today, because I had quite a bit yesterday. I had some champagne as usual. So we'll see. Maybe a Pinot Noir or something. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I do slow roast it. Well, I bake it first in 180 degrees. Yeah, and for about 1.5 hours. And then you just work out. I mean, you see your own, how you like your lamb. Do you like it cooked or overcooked? I just don't overcook the lamb, because then, oh, that's so sad when it's like crumbly. So I think you just work out what your rhythm is, how long you cook it for. But I bake it for at 180 degrees for about 1.5 hours. And then when I open it, I grill, so that it roasts nicely. I get that crispy layer. Guys, no, but you need to remember, if you've had a lot the day before, the next day you must really ease up. But then if you see me having my glass here later, don't say how Amanda got it. But I really think I shouldn't today. And I've been throwing in some vitamins. I actually just started today taking some vitamins, multivitamins, because I don't know, I just figure maybe I'm growing old, so let me take them. I always have I'm a big believer in my vitamins. I get them straight from the source. So you see how I cook the green vegetables. I'm always having green vegetables. Brinjal. I just feel I've never been an unhealthy person in any way. And I always believe in getting the food directly, the vitamins directly from the source. But, I thought, okay, let me try it. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but I do have, by the way, like vitamin C that I have, because I can have oranges and mandarins or clementines or lemons, which is what I have every day. And thank God, touch wood, I am not a person that gets sick often. And please, COVID, leave me alone. I don't jinx my life now, please. So yeah, today I had a one of these multivitamin things, but I don't know how long it's gonna last. Honestly, it just seems like a lot of admin. Okay, let me see. Whilst I cook those. Okay, so what led me? The Creator Glory says, what led you to having side hustles, especially at an early age? So I have always believed that I don't ever want anybody to be in charge of my destiny. By now you've figured I have a lot of issues. So one of them was I don't, when I was a child, I felt like I didn't have options, I didn't have choices, that I was at the mercy of other people, and I vowed to myself never ever to have that happen ever again. So my independence has always been that thing I strived for. So when I say I first had my first business, I was selling flowers. Hey guys, I was so serious about that business. I even bought a bakkie. I had a bakkie, a bantam. I did flowers for weddings, for corporates, but it meant I had to wake up at 4 o'clock and be at the market at 4 o'clock every morning. Then be at my job. At the time I was working at First National Bank. Be at my job by 8 o'clock, 8:30. So I'm not a stranger to hard work. And the reason I've always had side hustles, I've always had multiple streams of income in some shape or form, no matter how small they were, was just to not have anyone own my destiny. I can't be dependent on anyone. It would be a real shame for me. I would feel like I've let myself down. So that's one of the reasons I do that. And I also say to people, you can't just rely on one thing only, because if that one thing is gone, then what do you do? So in some shape or form, you need to be finding something that will give you a little bit of extra money, so that even if one thing falls by the wayside, at least you got another. And somebody asked a question earlier, how do you get on boards? One of the sources of income for me is my boards, the boards I sit on, the board fees. But that's also something that has come with time. When you've built up a certain credibility, you've got certain competence, certain skills. And one of the main things I get invited on boards is because of my technology experience and exposure, as well as my entrepreneurship. So yeah, but you must find what works for you. You must find what you've got. And boards is one of those things that you build up to, but start off with like an NPO or a small board where you can learn how to be a director. But you can also study through the IODSA, how to become a director. And it's a lot of responsibility, it's a lot of liability. So it's not something that you should just take lightly. It's no longer a social status. It's no longer, I just want to be on a board or just get invited for your name only. It's a huge responsibility. So let me see. Andile says, will you still be having mental health sessions for ladies with the psychologist? I'm not sure what you mean, will I still be, because the program just started on the 11th, on Thursday. So it's an 8-week program, and the first session went very well. And by the way, at no point when I advertised this or posted it did I say it was for ladies only. and I'm incredibly amazed at how the default position is that these things I do are for ladies only. They're not. They're for anyone who needs help. So yeah, the sessions started on Thursday. They'll continue for 8 weeks, and then we'll see after that. Because I mean, I fund all my projects. I mean, the psychologists aren't doing it for free. They get paid for it. It's just the people that are receiving the service are they don't have to pay, you know. It's just one of those things I believe in. It's very important. I think a lot of people need help, and a lot of people don't have access to that kind of service. So I just go where God leads me, you know, and that's where I was led. I'm not sure whether this would be appropriate. This is a question from Paul. Not sure whether this would be appropriate, but how did your upbringing affect your dating phase? I write about this in my book, Baked in Pain. I told you guys, I say a lot in that book. You? That's why some of my family members are not talking to me. Oh, don't worry. I'm not sad at all. It's good riddance. Actually, was just a joke, guys. My mother wasn't happy, but it's my story. She could have decided to write it different, to write her chapter in it differently, but it is what it is. So the one thing I always did when I was dating was I always left. You know, I left. And I guess it was about, I want to leave them before they leave me, you know. Yeah, that was it. But I had to change that because I realized it was a pattern. And to be honest, I never took relationships seriously. And I always had this rule that if I broke up with someone, I'd be sad for like a week. Then done. Move on. Plenty of fish to catch. Yeah, anyway. Thank you very much. So Nick says, Baked in Pain really got me through a mental health struggle last year. Amanda, thank you. It's my pleasure. I'm really glad it's helping. It's helping a lot of people around the world, which is really, really, you know, it's an incredible blessing. Again, I take myself as just a vessel to deliver a message. You know, that's really how I view my life. That's how I see myself. I was chosen for this path, for this journey, for a specific reason, and mine is to use my voice to give hope to those who don't have it. And to just say, you know, with more determination and a bit of faith, and just knowing that you deserve it. Because one of the most difficult things with people who have come from harsh backgrounds is that, and I'm not in any way saying people who come from better backgrounds don't suffer from this, but you know, when you've grown up being told that you're not much and you're not significant and that you're gonna amount to nothing. You know, there's so much that you don't believe you deserve. And you tend to believe you deserve punishment, you deserve a hardship, and that other people deserve to be happy and not you. So that's one of the reasons I wrote this story. But also I wrote Baked in Pain, but it was also about confronting my own history. In fact, rewriting it and writing it, you know. Because I come from a place where I don't really have roots. You know, didn't know my father. My entire father's side was like non-existent. And I grew up in an extended family that wasn't even my mother's immediate family. So I really, my sense of identity was non-existent. And in a way, I just wanted to document my own history. And I wanted my children to at some point know where their mother had come from, you know, and document that. And yeah. Okay. Tonya says, thank you. We men need more insight and have to support our women. No, but I think you also need insight about yourselves. This is not about supporting us. This is about, you know, working on men need counseling services just as much, because remember, it's not just women that are broken or are dealing with all these traumatic past experiences. Men just as much. We are just more vocal about it. But also remember, South Africa has a huge GBV problem, as everybody knows, and wounded people hurt others. So this isn't about men supporting women. This is about men understanding what's sitting inside of them and why they show up the way they show up. And this taboo thing that psychology services, counseling services, psychologists, psychotherapy is a thing for women, is that we need to change, because this is how we end up with such an imbalanced society. This is how we end up with people who have suffered severely. Men just as much have suffered in this country. They've suffered in the hands of their unreasonable fathers. They've suffered in the hands of judgmental mothers. They've suffered in the hands of apartheid. We've suffered, like suffered. And the suffering is not just reserved for women only to deal with. We must all deal with it. And the more men go to these services and seek out help, the more they can start to deal with themselves. Because at the end of the day, weak men take out their frustrations on women and the vulnerable and their children. And that's what we need to be dealing with. Men need to confront themselves and seek the help that they need. I know that I'm preaching, but I'm very passionate about this point. I'm incredibly saddened by the fact that men are not confronting their own demons. So Nick says, do you think being too hard on yourself is a good or a bad thing? It's horrible. Like, why would you be hard on yourself? Why? I mean, that's what we are taught. We're taught to be hard on ourselves. We're taught to judge ourselves more critically than anybody else. We're taught, uplift others, not yourself. We're taught, no, don't be ambitious. We're taught, no, don't be hard on yourself. I've said this before. I'm very clear on that. We all make mistakes. But I think once you've done that inner work and you start to understand who you are and embrace yourself for where you've come from, and start to be real about, who you want to become, you'll also appreciate that, yeah, you'll disappoint yourself every now and then, but why must you be hard on yourself? I mean, what does that achieve exactly? Except talking yourself down, except frowning upon yourself, except thinking you're not worthy, except thinking you're stupid, you keep making stupid decisions, you keep choosing the wrong people, you keep... I just say don't do that. Learn what you need to learn and take the lessons and do better next time. But embrace yourself and just be compassionate with yourself. And of course, I mean, I'm not saying you must keep making the same mistakes and then say you're just going to forgive yourself. No, I mean, be real about what you want out of life. Sarita says, I got the book last year, and hey, all I can say is I am now a better person than I was in terms of healing and forgiving and prioritizing myself. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, let me pick another question. Yes, we must support boy children just as much as we do girl children, because the truth is that, and I think I've already kind of made a lot of, I've made that point. Somebody says, Mutsu says, I come from pain, my partner is struggling with his pain, how do I get him to go seek mental professional help? You can't make anyone seek any help. They must decide that they need the help. You can support them, you can encourage them, but only they can decide they need the help. That's why some of the people who wrote in for the therapy program wrote in on behalf of others. We didn't consider that because seeking help is a personal decision. It's a choice that you make. No one can make you do it. And this is important, and people must own their own healing process. It's hard, to, obviously, to live with someone who's carrying pain, because unfortunately that pain shows up in many different ways that may also be detrimental to you. But you can only encourage them to seek help, but you can't make them. Magule says, do you believe you attracted your husband through manifestation? I just think I waited for the right person, and I wasn't willing to settle for anything less. I was that friend in my friendship group that was, they're like, first of all, I didn't want to get married or have children. So I was like, nah, but then I was like, actually, even dating, I'm like, I have a very specific thing that I'm looking for. And if that person doesn't have it, I don't waste my time. And of course you date because you're trying to also figure out who you are and what you want, what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And I was clear about what I was looking for. It wasn't chance, it wasn't, I guess, you know, if you believe universe and stuff, I do believe that God put him in my path for a reason, and that he fitted what I was looking for, somebody with values, somebody with a strong sense of self, you know, because I don't have the time to be nursing your insecurities in a relationship. Everybody though looks for something different in the person. And my husband came where I wasn't looking for marriage, I wasn't looking for children, everything just organically happened. And he's a cool dude. Okay, let me see. Guys, some of these questions in the question box are questions I've addressed through the mentorship session on Vastly Sage. So please just watch those sessions, because I don't really feel like repeating myself. That's why I have those platforms, so that I can spend enough time talking about, you know, things like starting a business, things like inner work, things like, I mean, a lot. So if you don't know about it yet, please just go subscribe on Vastly Sage on YouTube, and you have access to all that mentorship sessions I've done. I've done 2 sessions so far. Okay, let me just take another one, guys. Siwe says, hi Amanda, I know you are very big in the project management sector. I'm currently in the mining sector, and okay, your question has been cut off because I think you wrote too long a question. So just ask the question again, please, Siwe. Craig says, I have realized that you are always energetic. Are you an esoteric person, or do I practice meditation? No, I don't practice meditation in the strict sense of meditation. But I do sit and just do nothing. Oh, drink champagne or stretch or go outside in the garden. There are a lot of things I do to feed my soul. Energy, I just think I'm an energy person. I'm just like an energy bundle. Yeah, but I mean, I replenish my soul. I do all the things that I want to do that make me feel good. And you'll be surprised how just walking in the garden and looking at my plants, my vegetables, and just, you know, connecting with nature, it does wonders. So I don't do meditation in the strictest sense of meditation. Yeah, it's not really my thing. My husband tried it recently after his COVID recovery. Started doing meditation. He'd get up and come to me and say, this thing is just not for me. Hey? Yeah, I just think you must go with your own rhythm. You must do what feels right with you, what you like. Like I'm not a go and pump iron type person at the gym, no, but I'll stretch, I'll go for a run, I'll walk. So all of those things I do to feed my soul. Lady T Baby says, well said, Amanda. Women need to stop this settling for fix-me-uppers. A woman needs to attract who they deserve, and stop settling then being shocked when a man shows you who they are. It is true, and you know, I always avoid conversations about relationships because when I say I don't avoid the conversations, I just try not to be judgmental of people's choices, but I also let people know that you can't make the wrong choices and expect a different outcome. You can't, if you don't listen to that small voice inside of you, which I believe is God talking to you. If you see all the warning signs and you still carry on because you're under pressure to just be in a relationship, then please own the consequences of your decisions. And unfortunately, sometimes a lot of people don't, they're not conscious of what they're doing. They're just autopiloting. I'm a woman in my 30s, I need to find a man, so I take whatever comes. I think you need to be a little more choosy than that, a little more discerning. And I mean, nobody wants any perfect being. I don't think that's what I'm saying either. I'm just saying that don't just settle for the next available person because you are in desperate need. And there's a lot of people who are desperate. And I mean, people can say, yeah, Amanda, it's easy for you to say you met your husband at 29, 28, you were married at 29, etc. But I wasn't looking, I wasn't desperate. That's what I'm saying. We just found each other. And I just think, yeah, we all deserve companionship. We all deserve someone to share our lives with. But doesn't mean you must just settle for anything or anyone. And then you find yourself in trouble, I agree. But you can't fix anybody. Nobody can fix anybody. Nobody can fix you. No one should ever try to fix anybody. Only you can fix yourself. And you know, I always say this, and I sound like this rebel, but it's the truth. I can't make my husband happy. He must make himself happy. He must be happy. We're here, we got a good thing going, it's great, you know, there's a level of mutual compassion, mutual respect, mutual companionship, but I don't expect him to make me happy. Because I don't think anyone can make anyone happy. That's just too much pressure on one person. And I don't think anyone will ever get it right. I need to understand what makes me happy, and I have chosen a person that is an individual who's allowed to also have, you know, their own happiness in a way. And their happiness doesn't always have to do with me, you know. They're a human being with a career, with friends, with hobbies, with interests, with dreams, you know. He's an individual. He's not tied to my hip. You know, we're married, yes, and we share life together, and we have goals and dreams as a couple. We enjoy each other's company, but that's because we are each whole human beings. I didn't need him to fix me, or him needing me to fix him. No. We're two human beings who've had to deal with whatever we've had to deal with to get ourselves to a place where we can actually be a great companion. So I don't think no one can fix anybody. And in fact, I just think it's condescending to think you can fix anybody. Yeah, you got some rules of engagement in a relationship. You agree on things that, you know, work and don't work, what you should do, mutual respect, values, you know, shared values. And yeah, you get upset in relationships. You, like anything in life, you know, the things that happen that make you unhappy, you do things that make you unhappy. You disappoint yourself sometimes. So I just think we need to understand we can't fix anybody. And if you choose someone that hasn't fixed themselves or worked on themselves, or who's not even on a journey who hasn't even recognized that they need to do some work on themselves, you're going to have a really hard time. It's going to be hard for you. It's going to be really hard for you. Because it's not just that, it's all the societal added pressure of what it is, what a woman should and shouldn't do. And oh, Jesus, don't get me started on that. Okay. Oh, I forgot that I'm still cooking. See, I told you, this is what happens. Okay, but I'm done with, I'm just going to boil some water so that I rinse the tips of the asparagus. But I mean, I'm not going to make the asparagus now because I'll make that before I serve at lunch. And then what I wanted to show you, what I do with the brinjal. I'm also not going to make it right now because you know, it's gonna. I don't like warming food up. I like serving food hot from the stove. But I'll tell you, the only thing I do with this is I can actually prep it so that you see. So I've rinsed these, and all I do is cut off the tip. So let's see if I can move this back a bit. There we go. So I cut off the tip here. So there you go. Let me just wipe this. And with this, I cut into like also again even slices, you know, because I lay them on the. So let me show you. Like you see, try to get them as even as possible. Then I lay it on a baking tray, and all I do, and I'll show you. Just give me a moment. And let's not be afraid to try these vegetables that are not your standard type vegetables. You know, I make Brussels sprouts, I make brinjal, I make all this, quite a lot of things that are not typical for us, especially black people. But if you think about it, I mean, I've planted eggplant in my garden. I mean, I bought this from Woolies, but I've planted it. I had it in previous season, and I'm planting it again. So you know, I just love planting whatever I can find. All right, let's see. What's for dessert? We don't generally have dessert. I'll tell you, one of the things that my husband has is a very sweet tooth. So when we started dating, he used to like have dessert almost every day. And I was like, wow, this makes you happy? But we do have dessert every now and then, but you know, it's not something that we do as a standard. But what I do tend to do is cook a fruit. So stewed fruit is a favorite in this house, and we always have a really great quality ice cream. So whenever people want to have something sweet after a meal, there's also a great quality chocolate. They can have it. I don't have any of that stuff. I don't like any sweet things. So I'm blessed that I don't even like pastries. I don't eat them. I eat bread because, you know, sometimes you need something a little more, you know, sustaining in your tummy, but I'm not a pastry or dough person. And I think that's also one of the reasons I don't really struggle much with my weight. So yeah, but of course, I always have dessert. It's called champagne. I guess each to their own, hey? Each to their own. But we do, I mean, the kids do have, I keep sweet things, but they have to at least be like good quality sweet stuff. And they do enjoy that. I no longer restrict them. They're old enough now to know the difference, and they understand that everything has to be in moderation. So yeah, they eat ice lollies and they bake cupcakes and stuff like that. So yeah, there's no dessert today. do I believe abortion is a sin? Gabriel is asking this question. No, I don't believe that. I'm a spiritual person more than I am a religious person. But I mean, I was a practicing Christian for a very long time. Bible bashing, in fact. I was that in my young years. I just believe a woman has the right to decide what they want to do with their lives, and it's not for us to judge. And unfortunately, I think religion has divided people so much through judgment. And you know, I don't know, would you rather bring up a child that you can't look after and abandon them? And I've come from being abandoned, so I have my feelings are a woman is allowed to do what they want to do. And if no one has the right to judge you. So no, I don't believe it's a sin. Thank you, guys. Okay, let me see. Yeah, don't ever be don't ever be desperate for love. No. Sometimes, guys, you're better off by yourself. I'm telling you. Not sometimes, often, actually. If you can't find the right person, don't just settle. Then you're crying every day. No. Life is not meant to be hard. I really just don't believe life is meant to be hard. But people are like, no, you know, can't have everything going right in your life. Guys, why not? Why not? Yeah, I'm not saying things are perfect, but I'm just saying we can't normalize unhappiness. We should never normalize unhappiness. Okay, wait, let me see. Somebody keeps saying to me, Happy Mother's Day from the UK. Oh, hi, is it Mother's Day in the UK? Oh, man. All right, Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Brave, Bold, Beautiful says, after deciding not to have kids, weren't you amazed to see how great a parent you have turned out? I'll tell you, the reason, I don't really believe that I didn't want to have kids. I was just scared to have kids because I thought I am going to screw them up royally. But remember, I was still carrying all the stuff, all the pain. I was still going through my own journey. I was just looking at my mother and I'm like, yo, I don't want to be a mother. But then, when God has his plans, God has his plans, and I am a fantastic mother. I'm a fantastic mother. I'm like, yes, sis, I was going to rob some beautiful children of all of this. I really am a great mom, and they tell me so. But I also think I'm a great mom because I know what it's like not to have one. And I mean, I wasn't raised by my mother, so you know, and we have a complicated relationship, and in no shape or form am I bashing my mother here. So let's just get that out of the way. But you know, there's always I always feel really proud when they hold up the mirror for me and they tell me how awesome I am and how warm and fuzzy I am, how I make them feel, and I'm just like, oh gosh, you know, honestly, if there's one validation I've needed in my life, it's exactly this one. So I just I'm really blessed that God chose me for the journey, and yeah. Imagine if I wasn't someone's mother. What a waste for me, hey? All this like humor and love and warmth, no one to give it to. No, I'm joking, guys. Honestly, you don't have to have children. If it's not in your path, it's not in your path. Some people have pets and they love them just as much. So, no, I'm not left-handed. It's just the video shows as though I'm cutting with this, but I'm right-handed, full on. Definitely not left-handed. Does Uyandiswa give career coaching services for individuals by any chance? No, not Uyandiswa. But I've got a business that does that called Leadership Development Strategies. So if you need help with that, you can send me a DM and we can take it from there. Oh, okay. So the video is fine now. Sorry, I didn't see that. Where's Verve? It's in the fridge. Guys, I'm not always drinking Verve. Ninja and Kobel. I'm not always drinking Verve. You know, I actually do other things with my life. Like not drink Verve. All right, so what I'm going to do, this eggplant, I'm going to put it on a baking tray. My water has boiled, so I'll soak up the... what I do with asparagus, the tips are quite sandy. So if you've had asparagus outside and it tastes like sand, it's because it's not properly rinsed. So I literally just put boiling water in a cup and I let the tips get in the water and get soaked a bit. And I do it 3 times. Then you know you've got a good rinse. So let me. Everything is smelling so good. Let me just get my baking tray. So this is what I'm going to put my brinjals on. So if you can see, like brinjals, so I just lay them here. And what I do though is spread a bit of olive oil so that they don't stick. So I'll show you this in a moment. But I just spread them all around the baking tray. I need to keep remembering that I'm cooking. All right. The sweet potatoes and everything is doing really well in the oven. They're cooking nicely. Because that one is right here. Okay. I'll show you this in a moment. Oh, I'm already mouth watering just looking at this. I love brinjal. Okay, so I add more olive oil just over my brinjals, and then all I do with brinjals is black pepper. In fact, I like to use the coarse one. So some black pepper. I'll show you now what this looks like. Some black pepper, and then I use some salt. I like to use this Himalayan salt, pink salt, but any salt is fine. It's perfectly fine. So, and then once you bake these, and they bake quite quickly. So look at that. They bake quite quickly. Then before I serve them, I spread lemon juice over them, and that's it. Lemon juice, but make sure they've got a nice crisp, because you know that actually is that's the one. It's even if you grill them, but when you grill them, just grill them slowly for let's say, first bake them just so that they cook. I usually bake them for about 10 minutes, and then I grill them for like 2 to 3 minutes to get that nice coating at the top. So yeah, try that, and then lemon juice before you serve it. I just use lemon juice, you know. It's not the freshly squeezed one, which you can also use. I use both, all of them, depending on my mood. All right. So, good morning from Geneva. Hi, Lulu. My kitchen gives you life. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, so let's see. I do think, you know, just in terms of cooking, I'm a very simple cook. I don't add a million things, because I just think the minute you may add a million things to food, you're taking away the essence of food. For me, I'm not saying other people shouldn't do it. I just think, you know, food is meant to be enjoyed in its most, it's closest to its, what's the English? I don't want to say to the closest to its raw sense, no, but so all I do is largely my most basic ways of cooking. The most basic ingredients I use is black pepper, salt, and lemon juice. If all else fails and you've got nothing else, those three things really that do bring meals to life. They change a meal, and I want to get the true essence of a meal. I don't want it layered with stuff, So the basics: black pepper, salt, and lemon juice, and of course, onions. Onions are just that thing. Even when you've got nothing, I remember when we were growing up poor, we just fry onions. And then it smells like, woo, the hour. All right, thank you so much, thank you. Natural flavors, that's it, yeah. Okay, let me see. I like this question from Just All Things Me. Says Amanda, have you ever had to cut off friends? If so, how did you do it in a nice way? I don't actually believe I've done it in a nice way. I just stop. So I don't think there's nice, and it just depends on what the situation is. It's okay to actually just not explain yourself sometimes, because I just think as women we're so conditioned to keep explaining ourselves. If something is not working, it's not working, and I don't think you have to explain it to anyone. I've had friends that I just stopped being friends with because I just stopped. I stopped because I realized that they've got toxic energy, and that they unfortunately there was this one particular one who was just, when it's one thing to envy someone's life, it's another to hate that other people seem to really are drawn to that person. So, and I just stopped, guys. I don't need drama in my life. I just want to be around friends who've got good energy, who don't envy my life, who don't envy what I've got, but who are comfortable in their own skin, and who are happy with their lives, who don't compare their lives to mine, because I don't compare my life to anyone, because only I can appreciate my journey, and I don't look at other people's lives and envy them or wish I had something that they have. No, I've got everything I need, even the things I don't have, like a jet. It would be nice to have a jet. No, man, what I mean is that I don't necessarily have everything, but all the things that I need to live a fulfilled life, I've got. I've got love, I've got family. For me, everything else is secondary. I've got purpose, I've got drive, I've got determination. These are things that matter to me. But if I'm surrounded by people who are constantly jealous of my life, then I can't do that. So I don't think you have to explain yourself. Just stop, Nji. And I just stop. And one of the other reasons I've actually stopped being friends with someone, anyone who questions my commitment to my family does not belong in my life. Like that footke, I cut like, see, like this knife, that friendship. Don't even look back. I don't even care that you, I don't know. Like it's almost as though you didn't exist to me. If you constantly want to hang out with me, and I tell you no because I'm with my family, I want to be with my family, and then you're like, but you're always with your family, you're out of my life. Don't you ever, 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 ever say that to me. So, yeah. And I have the most amazing friends. They don't question my commitment to them. They know that we all have lives. So I like being friends with people who have lives, or who are busy with their things. Because when you're busy doing your things, you have less time to be thinking about, Amanda, if I didn't phone you for 3 months, it doesn't necessarily mean our friendship is different. We are grown-ups, guys. This is not kindergarten. I don't need that many friends in my life to live a fulfilled life. No, I just need just a few that I have, and when we are together, it's fantastic. When we're not, we know it doesn't mean our friendship is in jeopardy. It's called grown-ups. That is how grown-ups do it. You're busy, you always want to hang out somewhere, drink wine and talk nonsense. No. That's good once in a while. And then you go back to your life. You do the things that matter to you. You know, you can't be all about friends all the time. When are you building your life, Kahlehli? And I just think that people must find hobbies. Because I can't make anyone happy. Also, you know those friends who are jealous that you are friends with other friends? I'm just like, what are you? I can't help you with your potty training. I can't help you undo your potty training. You fix yourself, and please, I don't want bad energy or vibes around me. And maybe some people can say I'm not a great friend because I'm cold, and I don't value relationships, but I actually do. I like the people who are independent emotionally. If you want me to nurse your insecurities, hey, you've come to the wrong place, honestly. You've knocked on the wrong door. And I want people who have themselves figured out. Yeah, I'm a very supportive friend if you want to talk to me about something, if you're struggling about something. I mean, I also do that. I have a conversation with a friend and, you know, you're like, that's actually just what I needed. But if I know all you want is for me to keep thinking about you all the time, I must be thinking about you. Who's making the money to take kids to school? Who's putting food on the table? Who's looking after my family? Who's looking after my husband? Because, you know, he got needs. He's got needs, the booty. So, oh man. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Let's take some more questions before I end the session. I don't even know how long we've been going. So Dr. Kwezimfeka says, do your kids do home chores? The stuff they made us do growing up, the cleaning, dishes, and etc. So my kids do home chores, absolutely, without a shadow of doubt. They pack groceries because, yes, sis, guys, there's so much eating in this house, guys. Anyway, so there's always groceries to be packed. They pack groceries. They pack the dishwasher. They tidy up. They tidy up their rooms. That's how, you know, they earn their monthly allowance. The money we put in their bank accounts. That's how they earn it. They have to work for it. And our kids are actually really, really cool. Like, they do it. Rianda, on the other hand, my little boy, oh gosh, he even disappears when the groceries arrive. And there's this middle sister, the second twin. Middle children don't play games. They want justice. She goes and finds him. Even if there's literally 3 things to pack, she goes and finds him and says, it is time to pack groceries. And yeah, so no, they do. They work, and they help around the garden. They help daddy with stuff. You know, they clean the pool. We've got a pool cleaning service every week, but you know, they on a Sunday when they're not here and you want to swim, somebody must clean the pool. So yeah, they do. And they also help me cook sometimes, and yeah, we've got a working family life. Kanye says, these Sunday sessions feel like visiting an older sister's house for so much laughter and wisdom I never had. Thank you so much. That's really sweet. Okay. Yeah, I just think we place too much importance on friendships. And it's possible that I'm just, you know, that person that doesn't, yeah, I know, I know. I just think some friends bring you so much drama. I'm that person, guys, and it will be strange for you to know or understand. I actually do also tend to be very private. I know it's a bit of a mind thingy, because I don't like people who just want to come to my house. Why? Why do you want to come to my house? Stay in your house, I stay in my house. Someday we'll meet somewhere. Oh, yeah, I'll invite you over. But when now come Jimin and you're calling me, I'm not far from your house, can I pop in? For what exactly? Honestly, like for what? I'm busy with my family and now you're sitting here and I must keep staring at you and have to entertain you. And I was like, hey guys, no, I don't have time for that. I'm not a single person. Even when I was single, I didn't have people just coming to my house. Like, why are you here? Exactly. And these are the things that they end up seeing your life and then they want your life and they're like, I'm just like, no, stay there and then we'll meet somewhere. So I guess my understanding of friendships is very different. But there are friends that you know, once in a while, when Carol is in town, I'm like, how about we do something together? But we end up meeting somewhere, But she does come to my house when she's around. We hang out and have drinks and stuff. But it's once in a while. My friend Lillian, sometimes we're like, oh my gosh, I'm leaving work now, are you around? Once in a while, I'll be like, yeah, sure. You know what? I've got some time. We can quickly have a glass of champagne, talk about what's going on, and then you go. That's it. But these are not needy people who constantly want me to be pandering to every single emotion that they have in life. I'm just like, please see a psychologist, Mara. Yes? Yeah. So I don't know. Come to my house. You guys, do you understand what that means? Like, you come into my space where I'm raising my children and you bring your negative energy here. That one is a no. Anyway, so oh gosh, okay. Yeah, no, people mustn't just come to your house, guys. I don't think it's right. But it's strange because a lot of people, it's a thing to come to each other's houses. Like, it's a thing. If I'm not having an event, or there's a specific reason why you should be coming to my house, and you are, and maybe let me be honest, maybe I didn't like this friend very much, because people I like, I let them come to my house. Maybe I'll just be honest. Yeah, her energy was bad. But I quickly realized that and ended that so quickly. Okay. A question from Kumgani is, how many siblings you've got and how is your